Car insurance rates by state. Among the many factors that impact your auto insurance rate, where you live might be one of the most important, even in states where zip code cannot be used as a factor in determining rates. Car insurance rates by state can vary a lot, often by hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Car insurance rates by state. Alabama car insurance costs around the same as the national average, according to the Reason Foundation Annual Highway Report. The state highway system ranks in the middle of the pack at 19th. Its low living cost helps to moderate car insurance costs. The resident might accept to pay around the national average, since the average cost of full coverage in Alabama is $1,760 per year. Alaska drivers pay slightly less for their auto insurance on average than the typical American driver. On average, driver is Alaska spends only 7.2 hours. While Alaska is known for having subpar infrastructure, its low cost of living and low population density helps keep car insurance costs. Arizona drivers typically pay around $28 less per year for full coverage auto insurance than the national average. Arizona roadway ranks middle of the road and the state cost of living in average. Arizona drivers spend an average of 30.1 hours in traffic due to congestion. Average Eartham Plus full coverage car insurance rates are $35 per year than the national average, which could be due in part or Arkansas ranking fourth for the highest crime rate in the country according to USA. California. Full coverage car insurance in California typically costs $419 more per year than the national average. High insurance costs in the Golden State could be due to California's high cost of living and this state's low ranking infrastructure. Colorado full coverage car insurance rates are on average $248 higher per year than the rest of the country. High insurance costs in the state could be related to the state's poor road conditions. Connecticut. Car insurance in Connecticut costs $238 less per year for full coverage than the rest of the country on average. Connecticut ranks in the top 5 states with the highest population density. Delaware's average annual full coverage car insurance rates are $192 more than the national average. Delaware also has the 6th highest population density of any state. Florida has one of the highest average annual full coverage car insurance rate in the country, clocking in at $991 higher than the national average. Floridians spend 40.4 hours in congestion per year, which is around 10 hours more than average. Georgia full coverage car insurance costs about $214 more than the national average per year. High car insurance rates in Georgia could be due in part to the poor condition of infrastructure in the state. Georgians also spend 42 hours in area traffic. Despite Hawaii having the highest cost of living of any state, car insurance in this state is relatively cheap. Full coverage car insurance in the Aloha state costs $565 less than the national average per year. Idaho's average annual full coverage car insurance rates are some of the cheapest in the country, coming in $706 cheaper than the national average. Car insurance rates in Idaho remain low due to the state's low population density. Illinois travelers pay $223 less per year for full coverage car insurance than the national average. Illinois sits in the middle of the pack when it comes to cost of living and crime rates. Indiana travelers pay an average of $529 less per year than the national average for full coverage car insurance. Indiana residents may pay less for their car insurance due to the state's low cost of living. In Iowa, drivers spend an average of $517 less per year for full coverage insurance than the national average. Low vehicles maintenance costs, a low cost of living and low population density many contribution to low insurance costs. Kansas drivers pay only $31 more per year than the national average for full coverage car insurance. The state ranks in the middle of the pack for rate, population density, and number of licensed drivers, which may be why the state average rate of car insurance. Kentucky drivers typically spend $183 more per year on their full coverage car insurance than the national average. High car insurance rates in the bluegrass states may be high due to exceptionally high fatality rates. Virginia's average annual full coverage car insurance rates are sky high, coming in at $193, higher than the national average. Car insurance in Louisiana may be expensive because of the state's high crime rate. Many full coverage car insurance in Maine costs around $895 less per year than the national average. Cheap car insurance in the Pine Tree state may be due to the state's low population density. In general, Maryland drivers pay $160 more per year than the national average for their full coverage car insurance. Maryland residents may pay more due to the highways to traffic congestion in areas of the state. Despite Massachusetts' high cost of living, structurally deficient infrastructures, and high roadways, where drivers in the Bay State typically pay $475 less per year than the national average for full coverage car insurance. Michigan, if you are looking for car insurance in the Great Lakes states, you may have to pay a steep price. Michigans generally pay $574 more per year for their full coverage car insurance than other U.S. drivers on average. Minnesota drivers typically spend around the same amount for full coverage car insurance as the national average. Since Minnesota ranks middle of the road for cost of living, infrastructure, quality, population density, and number of licensed drivers, state car insurance rate. Drivers in Mississippi typically pay around the same as the national average for full coverage car insurance, but areas with high congestion may experience more expensive rates. Missouri's average annual full coverage car insurance rates are around $90 above the national average. These average rates are no surprise since the state ranks in the middle of the pack when it comes to fatal crash, population density, number of licensed drivers. New Hampshire drivers typically pay significantly less for their car insurance than the average American. Low insurance rates could be particularly due to the state's low crime rate. And New Jersey drivers in the Garden State sit in traffic congestion areas for an average of 40 hours per year. This roadway congestion paired with the high crime rate and the highest population density of any state. New Mexico drivers pay around $282 less for their full coverage car insurance per year than the national average. New Mexico has the fifth lowest cost of living and low population density, which could both contribute to the lower rate. New York, with the highest average cost of minimum coverage car insurance and full coverage car insurance in the nation, New York drivers typically pay significantly more for car insurance than the average U.S. driver. North Carolina typically pays $379 less per year for their full coverage car insurance than the national average. North Dakota typically drivers pay $546 less for their full coverage car insurance per year than the average American driver. North Dakota ranks first in overall highest performance and cost effectiveness in the region. Pennsylvania has a high rate of traffic fatalities, poor infrastructures, and high population density, resulting in car insurance that may be more expensive than other states. Residents pay almost $231. South Carolina, compared to other U.S. drivers, South Carolina high-ranked highway, low cost of living, low population density, and mild weather make contributions to affordable average car insurance rates. South Dakota drivers in the Mount Rushmore state spend around an estimated $229 less than the national average for full coverage car insurance. Tennessee drivers typically pay around $388 less per year for full coverage auto insurance than the average American. The volunteer state ranks 70 in the best highway performance and has the lowest cost of living. Texas drivers generally pay around $97 more for full coverage car insurance per year than the national average, while the state claims average ranking in cost of living, crime rate, and highway performance. Virginia residents spend an average of $431 less per year on full coverage car insurance than other drivers in the U.S. Virginia has one of the lowest crime rates in the country. Washington, despite the state's high cost of living, Washington residents spend almost $458 less per year on full coverage car insurance. Washington, D.C. The average annual cost of full coverage car insurance in Washington, D.C. is $177 more expensive than the national average for several reasons. West Virginia residents typically spend $244 less per year on their full coverage car insurance than the national average. West Virginia may spend less on their car insurance Wisconsin's drivers pay $522 less per year on average than other drivers in the USA. Full coverage car insurance. The state also has a low crime rate and low cost of living. In general, Wyoming drivers pay $261 less per year than the national average for full coverage car insurance. Wyoming has a low crime rate, little traffic congestion, a low cost of living, and a low population density, all factors which may contribute. Vermont drivers pay an average of $771 less per year for full coverage auto insurance than the national average. Vermont has one of the lowest crime rates in the country. Utah drivers in the state pay an average of $322 less per year for full coverage car insurance than drivers in the rest of the country. Utah has a low crime rate and a low number of fatal crash each year. Both factors which may contribute. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like the video, subscribe my channel and share with friends and family.